I hit with stuff. That's what happened the first day. Boys here this morning. It's long. Greetings.
We're looking for just like the journal.
Who at the journal?
Katie Mulvaney.
We offer something?
Yes, I did.
For all of us?
Yeah.
Just double checking. Thank you.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
It's loud. Put your affirmation now. Everybody's doing this here?
She signed it for us already.
Oh, she did? Oh, yeah. Right, there it is. It's signed in. That's us. Rise of the Moles, no? Right there. Oh, come on.
What happened?
She said something.
Of course, because
What happened?
No, she told us to. Yeah, but we don't want to. We want to give him reasons to say we're doing crazy shit. Because if someone wants to come, we had this set up. If someone wants to come see me,
We're at the Providence Journal. This is where we're at. This a.m. on Friday, our holy day.
no, I'm gonna wait for you.
Okay. We'll say they on one, we on one.
You can wait.
She's coming.
Okay, yeah, let's take a seat. Bloodline.
I'm sitting in the garbage.
Put the book on the table there. Please. This is how we're doing it. This a.m. on our holy day.
Hi. How are you? Good. I'm Julissa. Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So this is our organization. We're called Rise of the Moors.
Okay.
And there was an article published about us, and we
Great.
just wanted to correct some things for the record.
Okay.
Okay. So, I don't know if you want to have a seat. We just had some things for you. Some things were said that were a little bit slanderous, so we just wanted to correct it. We keep getting associated with sovereign citizens, which we are not. We do adhere to federal law. And we do have a treaty of peace and friendship with the United States. I have a certified copy from the Library of Congress. So it's not a belief.
Well, that's from the National Archives.
Oh,
Yeah, that
excuse
So
me.
it was stated in an article that we believe we have a treaty. This is from the National Archive. It's this one. And if you go to Article 21 of the treaty between the United States, Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States of America and the Emperor of Morocco. If you go to Article 21, it says, if a citizen of the United States shall kill or wound a Moor, which you see the word Moor right there, so it's in between our nation of people in the United States, so that shows you that we're not part of the United States. We are a separate nation of people, so we're not sovereign citizens, because we can't be sovereign citizens, we're our own nation of people.
Sovereignty comes
Just like
through.
the United States and Germany are separate, the United States and Morocco are separate. We're Moroccans. Here is the journal from the House of Representatives of South Carolina. And in 1970, a few Moors petitioned the House of Representatives of South Carolina to be treated as Moors and not under the
Very loud here.
not under the Christian Black Codes of 1724. And you'll see right here, a petition was presented to the House from the Sundry Free Moors, which just means mixed Moors, subject of the Emperor of Morocco, and the residents of this state, praying that in the case they should commit any fault amendable to be brought to justice, that they, as subject to a prince in alliance with the United States, talking about the treaty, may be tried under the same laws as citizens of this state would be liable to be tried, and not under the Negro Act, which was received and read. So this is correcting the status that we're not Negro, Black, and colored, because those terms have no standing at law, which we brought several law dictionaries with us, which all this stuff can be verified at the Supreme and Superior Court of Rhode Island, at 250 Benefit Street on the 8th floor. Ask the clerk for Black's Law Dictionary, and you'll see color has no standing at law.
I didn't refer to anything like
No,
that.
I'm just
Okay.
letting it be known, because we don't claim that we're immune to state and federal law. As you see, we're trying to not be treated as if we're Negro, Blacks, and colored. We want to be treated as a separate nation of people, just like anyone else with a nationality. They get treated with respect. We want
So
respect.
if you're a sovereign,
Sovereignty
We're
comes
not
through
sovereign
your
citizens,
nation.
We're a separate nation of people. You know what I'm saying?
is it like the Indians?
No. When you do research on the word Indian, if you look up any federal case law on the word Indian, you see that the word Indian is a ward of the United States, which the word Indian means, which the word ward means incompetent, because we were already here. So if someone finds us here and then calls us something that we're not, to continue to accept that brand would mean you're incompetent. Because if you have a name and I call you something else, and you start identifying as that, clearly you're incompetent.
Okay, you gotta go back and explain to me again the thing, because I thought that if you're claiming that you're a sovereign through Morocco, I thought that that means that the laws don't apply to you.
No.
How, can you explain that,
All right,
just
so-
so I can get my head around it?
As an example, like if you were German,
Chinese is a better.
well, yeah, if you were Chinese and you come to the United States, you'd be treated as a Chinese national here in the United States. So
Okay.
you'd still be under the laws of criminal crime and civil court, but you go to federal court because it's dealing with diversity of
International
citizenship.
Right.
affairs.
So
Yep.
that's
Got it.
That's the position that we're taking. We're not
Okay.
above anything.
So how best should I
Yeah, all right. So
clarify this?
let me see. You can cross out the word believe. Actually, can I use a pen and just
Yeah.
cross something out?
The stuff about some other people being labeled as sovereign
Yeah, right
citizens
there.
towards the end was like
We're not
completely
immune from
unnecessary.
state and federal laws. We would be treated.
As a
It's-
sovereign?
No, it's diversity of citizenship.
Sovereignty comes to your nation, so you will have, sovereignty in the United States. A Chinese person would have sovereignty in China.
Yeah. So we're to be treated as a diverse nation. So since we have a treaty with the United States, we're a separate nation of people. So we
Okay.
can't be held to the same cultural standards, right? So if the United States has any issues with one of our citizens, it would have to be litigated in federal court.
Okay.
There would be counsels from the United States.
Is this
right
recognized? Like,
Yeah.
is the United States recognized
there.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, the state of Illinois, not just Mayor, because I see you reference
Yeah.
Mayor Romney Manuel.
Yeah.
The actual state of Illinois issued a similar proclamation saying the same exact thing, as well as the state of Georgia. They issued a proclamation saying the same exact
Has
thing.
this been litigated yet?
As far as what?
Just like this whole issue.
We're working on it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So during the 1900s, 1913, Noble Drug established the Morris Club of America, and at the time, the newspapers that was the Chicago Defender and the Moorish Guide, there was articles where the prophet was recognized by the governor. We ended up having Louis B. Anderson as a councilman in Chicago, we had Oscar the Priest as a congressman for Illinois. So these things were being developed, and then they got stopped.
Okay.
you. But our evidence of us being here is documented. University of Rhode Island did an article showing prehistoric Quranic manuscripts that predate Christopher Columbus here. The Prime Minister of Turkey stated that Muslims have been here, which when you research Moors, and Moors are referenced as Muslims, and you look up they call it a conquest of Spain in 711. It wasn't really a conquest, it was the Age of Enlightenment. You see that those Moors were referenced as Muslims. So we've been traversing the seas anciently. It's just our history is swept under as Negro, colored.
We've been branded so many different things to cause confusion, so that when we don't know who we are as a people, we can't look back in history and say we came from there. These are our people. This is what we're about. There were a few things, excuse me, that I wanted to mention. The issue that is concerning with the event that occurred at our place. It was a place that we were renting. We all signed up for this class that he was teaching. The rifle that he had, a semi-automatic rifle, is perfectly legal in the state of Rhode Island to purchase. The Glock was also perfectly legal in the state of Rhode Island to purchase. He's also a veteran who is I believe he's a sergeant in the Marines, so he's definitely qualified to possess these firearms. Everybody in the class had gone out to let women and children, to let the officers know we're all safe. There's no need for anything you to come upstairs. This is our private area that we pay for. We are allowed to not only bear arms according to the Second Amendment, which we're upholding the Constitution. So when we get portrayed as we think we're immune, why are we teaching about the Constitution and the treaties and
Basically it.
yeah, we
All right, so let me get back to this. All right, so we're not immune from state and federal laws. What we're immune from is state laws, but we adhere to federal laws because the treaty is a federal law.
Okay.
You know, dealing with the supremacy clause of the Constitution, Article 6, it states that all treaties made with the United States and the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land. So we're to be treated just like it says in the treaty. If any citizen of the United States or any more shall have any issues in controversy, counsel shall determine. So that's supposed to be in federal court. So we can't try to say we need to be litigated in federal court and claim to be immune. That would be a conflict of law. That doesn't make sense.
Got it. Yep.
Also, I appreciate you quoting us directly, and I didn't personally think that this was a slander article, but there was certain
None
things.
of it is. I tried to just work off your papers.
Yeah, there were just certain things that doesn't apply to the situation.
The
when you
stuff
brought
about
out,
other
because
places.
there are Moors who don't follow the law, who try to defraud the system, and that's not what we're about.
Okay.
Since we are a separate nation of people, we have our
didn't know about you guys, so.
Yeah. All right, so
we just don't want to be associated with
can
them.
I give you, if you want to write this down, there's something from the Library of Congress. It's the proceedings and debates, which I should have brought with me. I didn't bring it. Proceedings and debates of the 90th Congress.
Yeah, okay, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, it's because there's a lot of information.
Well, I'm wondering if the best thing to do would be to write a story about what you are about.
Yeah,
That would be
I think
amazing.
that'd be great.
And that, like, I can write a clarification on this,
Yeah.
but I feel like the best thing might be to do, because like me, I didn't know about you guys,
Yeah.
and you're interesting. Maybe I could do a story in which you can disassociate from all that other stuff.
Yeah.
That would
I was
be
actually
amazing.
about to have you write this down.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
sure.
Because in this congressional proceeding of 1967, it stated that the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional. Now, the reason why that's such a big deal is because those of us who have been branded Negro, blacks, and colored, we're taught that the 14th Amendment reversed the Dred Scott decision, which stated that blacks are not citizens of the United States. They claim that the 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868, and that made black citizens of the United States. But this, from the Library of Congress, is stating that it was never ratified, which means we're not citizens of the United States. So since we're not citizens, you're supposed to treat us as a separate nation of people, and any issues that we have is supposed to be litigated in federal court, which is exactly what we're talking about. Because when we're dealing with the three prominent issues at law, it's status, jurisdiction, and venue. So since we're not citizens, that establishes the status. So now the jurisdiction is federal court. because we're a separate nation of people.
Yeah.
Just like when you go to the Superior Court, you'll see the Korean flag. You don't see them in state court. You see them in federal court because they're a separate nation of people.
Yeah.
You know, they're a sovereign nation of people.
So, is there like are you guys completely on your own, or is there a national,
So-
are you part of a broader community?
Yes,
or is-
we are, but the problem with that is our movement was infiltrated by the FBI, which you can just, if you look this up, you'll see there's FBI infiltration in the Moorish side of America. They actually have it on the FBI's archives, where they have, just the reports that they had agents to slow down our progress as a separate nation.
Sorry,
Sorry about that. I tried to get you.
Did you?
Yeah, I found a number on the web, but I don't know if it was the right one.
I can give you my number. And that's the best.
Yeah, so there are groups everywhere. It's just due to the FBI infiltration. And then when you look up counterintelligence program, you see that there's these FBI and CIA programs to slow down our political movement, which there's members in Congress who've already revealed this information to the public. So that's why you'll see different groups, and different groups teach different things. Some Moors do violate the law and tell people to, do tax fraud with the IRS and stuff like that. But then there's those of us who are teaching our people, don't be criminals, don't do fraud, things like that.
Yeah.
So there are different groups. We're all Moors. It's just the difference is the leadership of those groups. That's basically it. But here's the proceedings and debate of the 90th Congress. You'll see right here the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional.
Okay.
So even with the big Trump debate about the 14th Amendment and ending it, it's already ended. Which we have documents certified from Congress that I didn't bring, but here's a copy that you can just look up online.
Okay.
You mind if I give this to her?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's something different.
Yeah. But also,
So how long have you guys been?
we've been teaching. I've been teaching for about 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been studying law since 2016. Also, there's another correction with this. I'm no longer part of the consulate.
Oh.
Yeah. But this right here, these are the journals of the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in 1933, sealed from the Library of Congress. And
She's writing, just let her take notes really quick.
oh, I apologize.
I'm just wanted to get the consulate thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to meeting.
Yeah,
Listening.
no problem.
Really appreciate that.
So yeah, this is from the Library of Congress, sealed journals of the House of Representatives and bonded, so we didn't tamper with this. And this right here, you'll see, I'm pretty sure this is April 17th, 1933, because April 17th is my birthday. Let me see. Yeah, right here, April 17th, 1933. Many sons and daughters of that proud nation and handsome race, which inspired the architecture of northern Africa and carried it into Spain, the influence of its artistic temperament have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home, and of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. This society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of these principles which are necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of the titles and names, annexations that are so familiar at home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents thereof be it resolved that the House commends the Moorish American Society of Philadelphia for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest right of religious independence guaranteed every citizen, we recognize also the right of these people to use the name El, or Ali, or Bey, or any other prefix or suffix to which have therefore been accustomed to use etc. So we have been recognized, it's just on a slower level because of like I said, there's severe opposition with the FBI and the CIA and stuff like that, and us dispensing this information to our people. Because now if you look at the mass incarceration of so-called black people and the 14th Amendment being unconstitutional, we shouldn't be in the state courts anyway. You have to deal with our nation, so it's in their benefit to keep us divided. Because once we come together as a nation, then we send consuls, those who are intelligent, to say, well, according to the Constitution and treaty, you shouldn't even be speaking to our people on this level. Before we even get to the issue of were there any crimes committed, it should be notice of removal to federal court, consular court, consuls are present, United States consuls are present, and we litigate in federal court. But instead, we get railroaded in state court, and most of the time, if you've ever been to state court, you'll see nothing but our people, people who think that they're Negroes, blacks, coloreds, Indian, West Indians, Hispanic, Latino, African American, all of which we are not in those venues. Which, in the law book, it'll tell you nationality determines your political status. Your political status is dealing with your civil rights, your rights as a human, etc. So when we go in there and we say we're colored people, in the law book, this is what it says about colored people. This is why colored people have no rights. Excuse me. So we just want to clarify all these things up because we're trying to correct this issue that's plaguing our people. Right, so in the law book, which again, you can go to the Superior and Supreme Court of Rhode Island, 250 Benefit Street, on the 8th floor, and go to the law library, ask the librarian for Black's Law Dictionary, and this is what it says about color. It is also held that there is no legal technical significance or signification to the phrase colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. So when we go in court and we tell people we're colored people, we're saying we have no rights. Now, if I tell you I have no rights, then you can do whatever you want to me, because I just told you I have no rights. You get what I'm saying? So now nationality, this is what nationality says. This is why we're teaching our people about their nationality, which is why I appreciate you quoting what I said in the federal courts. So nationality determines the political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance. So now your political status is dealing with your ability to enforce your rights, to be recognized as a human. That's why in the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, it says you have the right to a nationality. In the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of a Child, it says you have the right to a nationality. In the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, it says you have the right to a nationality. Because since we're claiming to be crayon colors and everything that we're not, everyone has the right to treat us like garbage. You know, because if I say treat me like garbage, what are you gonna do? You know, so that's what we're trying to clear up. We're not against any laws.
You're a nationality.
Yes, we're not against any laws. We're not against anyone's belief. We're not against anyone's anything. We all have human rights. You know, and even dealing with the United Nations Committee on 24 decolonization, the United States is number one on that list because North, South, and Central America is heavily colonized. You know, and since we refuse to recognize who we are, no one has to recognize us as humans. Which again, that's why I stated before, if you go to any federal lawsuit and look up any issue between any Indians in the United States, you'll see that the United States calls Indians wards, which a ward is a person who is incompetent. Because again, if I go to your land and you already have a name for your people, and I say, you're now crayon colors, and you start agreeing to be that, clearly you're incompetent. Clearly you don't know what side of the hemisphere you're on, because this is not India. India's over there in the east, and it's not even called India, it's Hindustan. Ask anyone from over there, they say, I'm not Indian, I'm Hindustan, I'm Hindu. You know, so these are the issues that we're facing, and there's a lot of confusion on that, because a lot of people aren't intelligently articulating this to people. You know, and a lot of our people, I'll tell you right now, they would have read that article and just slandered you, because they would have perceived what you said to us as slander instead of seeing an honest reporter trying to report from the news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For those reasons. But this is why a prophet said, learn to love instead of hate, so we can approach you in an intelligent manner and try to clarify things to see if you're a decent human being or not. You know? But that's basically
Well, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to be accurate. I don't know about you guys, so I'm
And I kind of
happy to
I
hear
seen that
from you.
from-
I wanted to hear. I tried to call you that day to try to
I
find out
apologize.
what.
She gave me her number, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, I have her number. I will get back in touch with you to do a follow-up story.
Okay, great.
Because people will be very interested
Yeah.
in
I
hearing
mean,
about you.
We have cases dismissed here. We have cases dismissed in New Hampshire because we're not citizens of the United States. We have a separate nation, so everything's supposed to be litigated in federal court. That's why we went to federal court. because it's diversity of
Do
citizens.
you know what judge you have?
No, we haven't gotten the docket. We haven't gotten the docket back from the
It'll
court.
be really interesting when it goes over to federal court, because those are interesting judges.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually have a case in there already.
What does that mean? Interesting.
They aren't cookie cutter.
Okay.
They think about people's rights and stuff. Right?
Yeah. I have a case, another case in federal court dealing with a foreclosure.
I saw that.
Yeah, because paper's not money. Then they dismissed it. They tried to dismiss my pro bono, what they call it IFP. So I appealed in federal court to proceed without paying the court fees because paper's not money, so I can't pay in money. I mean, I can't pay with paper because it's not money. So that stuff in our wallet is really a Federal Reserve note. It's not money.
What did they do with that?
The case is pending appeal right now in the Court of Appeals for the First Circuit.
Okay.
But they allowed me to proceed without paying the fees.
Ah,
Because I used different case law like Donnie Williams versus the IRS, the Clearfield Trust Company versus the United States, Craig versus State of Missouri, where they all stated that Federal Reserve notes is not money, so you can't pay a fee with something that's not money. Yeah, so here's the definition in the law book. You'll see it does not embrace notes. When we pull out what we call a dollar in our wallet, it says Federal Reserve note right on it.
It used to be gold back. We switched in the gold. They gave us promissory notes, which is a promise to pay. So now we're promising to pay with something that's worthless.
Yeah, so
So
Federal
we can never
Reserve
pay
note.
anything off.
No, this is why at the proceedings and debates of the 115th Congress, if I'm not mistaken, March 22nd, 2018, the Congress already admitted House Resolution 5404 that the United States dollar has lost 96% of its value because it's only paper and ink. And they admit that since in 1913 with the Federal Reserve Act, once they got rid of gold and silver, that caused the Great Depression.
HR 25.
Yeah, and HR 25, the Fair Tax Act of 2019, they're talking about dissolving the IRS because the federal income tax destroys jobs, ruins families, stuff like that. So this is what we're about. Documents from Congress, law books that all these attorneys, judges, all these people have, mayors, politicians. This is what we're about. Not we're immune from anything.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's no way we're immune from anything. That's impossible.
Well, you're immune from state law, right?
Well, yeah, state
Yeah.
law, but we are still protected under the state's constitution because the state constitution and the federal constitution are rooted in the same
Adhere to the-
principles. Yeah, because in Article 6 of the federal constitution, it says, all prior debts and contracts entered into before the adoption of this constitution shall be valid against the United States as under the Confederation, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land. And then it talks about any laws in the Constitution or in the state's constitution to the contrary notwithstanding. So the state constitution and the federal constitutions are to be viewed as one and the same, although individual states of the United States have their own independence, their own sovereignty. So they have the right to have their own constitution, but then they're protected by the federal constitution, which is how we're also protected. And then we have the treaty for the diversity issue, so we can't be treated in the state courts, which is why these Moors went to the House of Representatives to plead that we're not Negroes, we're not blacks,
Yeah.
treat us under the authority of the Sultan of Morocco in the Treaty of 1787.
Okay. What was the response from Providence Police? Have
we
you met with them before?
No, we met with PERA to try
PERA?
to... No, PERA, the Providence External Review Authority, Jose
Oh.
Batista.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we met with them to schedule a meeting with the police so
Okay.
we can basically tell them the same thing we told you. We're not claiming to be immune from anything. On the video that we recorded with the police, it's on Facebook, not on
Yeah.
YouTube. We
Oh,
read.
I saw it on YouTube.
Well, no, that was. I don't know how you seen it on YouTube.
We have a YouTube channel.
That's how I
Yeah, but
watched
we
it.
posted the interaction with the police.
Yes, we did. There was a little 3-minute,
Yeah.
there was a 3-minute and 40-something second clip
Okay.
that I posted to the
Okay.
rest of the Moors at
But
the end when the
there's
sergeant came and
more
said you
than
have no
that.
standing.
And when the police came, I read Rhode Island State Constitution to them. So they can't claim that we're claiming to be immune when we're enforcing the Constitution.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
if you're immune to something, you can't enforce it because it don't apply to you.
Definitely. Right.
We also have in the video that their superior at the end.
That's what she saw.
Okay, so that's the video she saw. But he asserted that
They
we
had no
weren't doing
standing.
anything wrong and we
Right.
had no standing.
That's what I see. It
Yeah.
seemed like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
basically.
that's from him reading the federal constitution.
It was the state
The state
constitution.
constitution.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time. I
Well,
appreciate
thank you for
it.
your time.
And I'll be back in touch. I have a couple of things I need to get done, but I think people will be really interested in
Yeah.
learning.
So do we.
And this would definitely help us also to get recognized here, because we're working on speaking with the mayor and developing relationships with the city on the city level and on the state level,
Yeah.
so that way they know what's going on, we know what's going on, we know what we're supposed to do when we encounter each other, and there's no issues like this again.
Right.
So
Good.
that would definitely help us to form those relationships and to not only with that, but to help the rest of the public understand what we are as well.
Okay.
Because we get labeled as just a religious group, which some of us are Muslims, some of us are Christians, some of us are
Buddhist.
atheists, some of us are right. So it doesn't matter what you are, we are accepting to all. It's just anybody who wants to learn about your rights, the Constitution, are welcome to
It's a
join us.
nationality
Yeah.
versus religion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're civic based. We're a civic
Yes.
organization.
Okay. Okay. You'll have to be patient with me.
Oh, no.
Because this is not, I don't know this.
Yeah.
So,
You're gonna
so it's
learn
a different way of
today.
thinking, you
Yeah.
know, so.
So just like
Okay.
Chinese people, they're Chinese.
Yeah.
Some of them are Buddhist, some of them practice Confucianism, some of them are Christian, some of them are Muslim, but all of them are still Chinese.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
Okay.
We're all Moors.
I got it.
Some are Christians, some are Muslims, some, like you said, atheists, but we're Moors, period.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So I will write a correction and then I'll be back in touch
Thank
when
you
I
so
get
much.
a little bit
Thank
more
you
of an
so much for your
opening.
time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks. All of you.
Sorry for the late.
What?
Sorry for the tardiness on my part. Apologies. Just walking in and you guys' meeting.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, sure.
Now we gotta go to the mayor's office to make sure that meeting is scheduled. I checked my emails and they haven't gotten back to us. So we just walk there, it's right there. Yeah, so that's oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Thank you.